Okay. All right. Oof, it's cold out there. Cold and wet. It's just kind of it's nasty weather, as they say. Real nasty weather. So what do y'all have going on in your neck of the woods? We will take a we will have all right. Hello to everybody in the chat. Hoping everything is well with you. Everything is on the up and up on this end. If you I need to go back and watch all of those. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We can watch all 19 of those. I was going to start a little series, a little TV series, but I was tired, and somehow or another, I ended up watching the last episode, and I was like, you know what? Not even want to watch the whole series. It didn't really make a lot of sense, but I kind of gathered a whole lot more from the last episode. I probably gathered through the whole series. I said, you know what? I'm just not interested. But go ahead and ask your question down in the chat. This will be your Hoodoo help desk. And that's what we're going to do for the next 45 minutes. We're just going to answer your Hoodoo or magical or spiritual or mystical or biblical, any of those things, questions. All right. I won't get into a rant because I always say I'm going to do one of these, and I never actually do that. I do something else. So let me clear off these tabs here. There we go. What do with a hydrogen root? Never used it before. What can't you do with a hydrogen root? I mean, a hydrogen root is the hoodoo root, right? What can't you do with a hydrogen root? If you, I don't know if you, did you pick one up from me? Did you get one of these emperor roots here that are massive? All right, like one of these things are humongous, or one like that, another big hydrogen root. Maybe you got one like this one. All right, or maybe you got one from, maybe you got a smaller one like these regular size one. Either way, the question was, what can I do with a hydrogen? Well, first of all, with any root, all right, it needs to be fed. All right, it needs to be fed. You can feed it whiskey, you can feed it rum, you can feed it Hoyt's cologne, depending upon your usage of it. But I can't think of any category where hydrogen I mean, you can really use hot gel in that regard too. Now I think about it. Um, it really kind of depends on your high jaw, what kind of shape it comes in. If you've got a male root or a female root, so a great deal of great deal of that deals with the shape of the root and what form it comes in. Okay, if they're large like that, they begin to germinate. You can actually you see they were splitting open. You can pack them with different personal concerns of yours, along with other mysteries and secrets in there, herbs and sticks and stones and bones and dirts and so forth, to make a very strong charge there. You can take the high John root and really begin to adapt how it works based upon what color fabric you may keep it in, whether it's a green fabric or a red fabric, even a purple fabric. Okay. Blessings to you. God bless you forever. Setting it, of course, before a high John candle. All of these are great ideas. Making a 3 John hand with high John, low John, and Dixie John or Southern John in there is also very, very strong. Connecting with other royal roots like a Queen Elizabeth root or a King Solomon root or a Master root, Master of the Woods. All of these things are going to help to really bring out the different qualities of high John the Conqueror. First and foremost, and the quintessential thing is understanding the lore of high John, and it may differ depending upon where you are in the South, even where you are in the world. For example, you cross the border over into Mexico, they also have a high John lore. Okay, so it may be a little bit different depending upon what tradition you're a part of, right? But understand that high John is about cunning, is about wit, is about mental acumen and being savvy, being clever, being cunning. He is a type of trickster. He is, um, you know, oftentimes he may be portrayed as being blunt and a brute and overpowering to overwhelming, where if you follow closer to the tradition, he overpowers by outwitting, right? He finds a way under, a way around, a way over, and as Black folk know, a way through. Okay, so high John is the quintessential hoodoo root. Okay, um, and there are many legends, tales, lore about high John. Like I said, they differ depending upon where you are in the South, even where you are in the world. Okay, um, yeah. So, um, if you can you can powder it down. All right, you can add it to a cologne or perfume, some type of fragrance. Okay, um, you can get a mineral oil. All right, and extract it in mineral oil. All right. um so there are a vast amount of um things you can do with um with that. Okay. um I'm just looking at some orders here, doing a little. It was a nasty day out today, and I decided to stay in and clean up and get to some online orders and stuff. What is the first prayer that comes to your mind to pray over a cleansing bath? it would depend upon what I'm cleansing from. All right. But in Hoodoo, the first recitation that come to mind would be, of course, Psalms 23, Psalms 51, Psalms 91, Psalms 27. Cleansing baths, I think about, I want to say, what is that? First Kings chapter, no, could have been First Kings. Must have been Second Kings. Second Kings, what, chapter 9? Second Kings. Second Kings chapter 5. Okay. In verse 10, Elisha sent a messenger to him, saying, "Go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and your flesh shall be restored to you, and you shall be clean." But Naaman became furious and went away and said, "Indeed, I said to myself, he will surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God and wave his hand over this place and heal the leprosy. Or not the Abana and the Pharpar, the rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? Could I not wash in them and be clean?" So he turned and went away in a rage. Oh, this is New King James. I think an Old King James said, and he went away wroth. And his servant came and spoke to him and said, "My father, the prophet, had told you to do something great. Would you not have done it? How much more then when he says to you, wash and be clean?" So he went down and dipped 7 times in the Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God, and his flesh was restored like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. So that's Second Kings chapter 5, 10 through 14. Do you read the Apocrypha Gnostic text for your Hoodoo work? The Gnostic text, as far as the New Testament Gnostic text, no. And I even have them included in my book of scriptures. I don't, from to answer your question, no. Yeah, no problem. I am looking for something. This is a new computer, and so I have to remember that some of the stuff is not on here yet. I got to download and upload and transfer this file to that and the other. And Marsilio Ficino. Okay, so that's not there. How often do you recommend a house cleansing? At least once a month. I recommend that you start off big and do, you do your macro cleansings and then you do these micro cleansings as management. So there should be a big to do by the beginning of the year, maybe even the beginning of the astrological year, or spring cleaning should be, very big, very big times for cleaning. Also, if you own the home or if it's an apartment, okay, then do anniversary cleanings, right? You should know the date or the week that you moved in, however long you've lived at that house, or how long you've lived at that location, what that day was. So on that day every year. As for the space, all right, almost like a birthday for, that's another thing. Do y'all ever bless your homes? That's another whole other thing. And be grateful for the land, that the roof over your head. Many people don't have a roof over their head. All right, pouring libations and so forth out to the spirits of the land that put up with you and your craziness. All right, at least once a year, if not regularly so. Also, I would say it depends on what you do in your house. If you have like a at-home business, okay, then that's going to work two different levels. You got to work it as a business and as a home. All right. Maybe you see clients at your house, or as I often do. Maybe you work on the table, work out of your house, whatever the case may be. You may cut hair, any number of things. So you need to see it. You need to combine, as it were, the frequency of cleaning your house and cleaning your business. Okay, but there should be one big yearly one, and then there should be another big one, not as big, monthly. All right, and then of course you keep up maintenance weekly. All right, so that's kind of how you build layers and maintain and manage spiritual work. That's probably a big question I get. Looking at your class, of which ones do you recommend? But because none of them is a intro to hoodoo class, it's more of an intro to a topic in hoodoo. I really simply just jump wherever. Probably altars 101, creating sacred space. And I only say that because I often, or I always tell people to start off with their ancestors and ancestral veneration, and so that is covered in that class. How to set up altars, what altars are, the spiritual vault, water and flowers and candles and prayers, and even altars of certain types of spirits, who to put with who not to put with who. Can I keep this private, and it doesn't need to be happening in the open? So a lot of those questions of practice are answered in that course. And as is my custom, I try to take these topics and make them as practical as possible. There is more than enough information on theory and theoretics of an idea or of a subject matter, and not a lot of practice or practical answers. You can always tell who is doing the work versus who is studying the work based upon what they ask and how they answer those questions. So that's probably where I would say start at. But it's really like a la carte. You really like a buffet. Where do you start a buffet? Okay, maybe start with the salads. Maybe my grandmother's my grandmother never started with the salad. She always ended the salad. Her logic was, well, the salad got to stay cold, so that was her logic, because she liked hot food. So it's really like a buffet. I would say what is your most pressing need right now? Right? Is it who was it that asked that? Like Billany asked, maybe it is cleansing. So you might want to get the wash webinar. Maybe it is protection. You want to get the guard webinar. Maybe it is love work. You want to get the passion webinar. Maybe you feel stuck. You need to some forward thrust, some momentum. You need your roads open. You want to get the progress webinar. Maybe you're dealing with adversity. You need to deal with enemies. You want to get the curse webinar. So it kind of depends on where you are and what you are dealing with right now. Be what I'll tell you to look at first, because it's going to make the most sense to you at that time, right? That's something you'll be able to put to practice immediately because you have an immediate use for it. So that's probably will be my two cents in that. Whatever you're dealing with right now, and or altars. Okay. Yes, get all of them. Get all of them. That's always one of my students, so she can vouch for I was just wow. Are you in my master class? I was literally just talking about this Sunday in master class. I gave a whole hour, well, one whole hour, might have been like 32 minutes or 28 minutes or so, spill on behavior and my views on that, what I like, what I don't like, what I do, what I don't do, what I advise, and what I don't advise. So here's my mindset of that. First of all, I want to say this: traditional conjure hoodoo is a family-oriented tradition, fundamentally. Okay, many of the technologies that evolved or that we innovated on throughout the years have their roots, no pun intended, in the family orientation of hoodoo. For example, stay with me. Okay, so we know today, stay with me is probably thought of in a romance, in a love kind of working, right? In a follow me boy, follow me girl, stay with me, tying somebody down and all those kinds of things, right? But it didn't begin that way, all right? It began as magical insurance that when I woke up tomorrow, the father, the husband, would not be on master's auctioning block. Okay. It was stay with me. All right. Stay at the home. All right. Keep coming back home. Okay. That was a very real threat, a very real danger. All right. That the home, the family could be split up off the plantation. So of course, that technology began to adapt and it began to innovate, it began to evolve, you want to use those terms, to what we have now, and it's worked very well in Lover, because I do that kind of work all the time. I say that as a preface. So when it comes to the family unit, all right, it is to be protective, not necessarily to be aggressive or volatile to the family unit. All right, it's to prevent volatility, to prevent aggression against the family unit. All right, so there's a different mind I have when you have, let's say, internal drama in the family, right? You got aunt throwing against nephew, throwing against brother, throwing against cousin. That there's a different mind that I go in it with. Okay, because ultimately the strength of the family unit is the prerogative. All right. So what I would do if it was some unnamed third party, all right, I may be far more aggressive with that than working in the internal family unit. All right. It may be a how can we cease and desist? How can we neutralize threats without neutralizing the person themselves? All right. That being said, I brought this up also in masterclass. And I think I brought this up when I was talking to John Theory the other day. He asked me, what are some trends I see in Hoodoo that really vex me? And one of them is when people use magic in a passive aggressive way. Now, hear me out what I mean by that. I mean, they use the arcane arts as an excuse to be an adult or to not be an adult. All right. For example, you and your mate, you and your partner going through something. All right. And the closer what they say, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So you're just going to them, being direct and having the conversation. All right. You want the hoodoo and everything else all around it. All right. To try to create where you don't have to have that conversation. You want to go under and over and around instead of just going through. All right. And you end up doing more avoiding the obvious than just taking the obvious path. All right. Now, can you do conjure to create doors of opportunity for that conversation? Sure. Can you do sweetening work so it'll be a sweeter and a smoother conversation? Sure. Can you do work to open up communications? Sure. Can you do work to for clarity of words? Sure. You can do all of that, but all of that is not a substitution for having the conversation. All right. These are all supportive, supplemental therapies. All right. To help enforce and reinforce. All right. To back you up, as we say, when you're burning candles, you want to back something up. To my next point about this question. So that brings up, you got a knucklehead son. Now I'm from the old school. It's cut from an old school cloth, so I have old school ideas. Call me conservative, call me whatever you want to call me. That's fine. I'm not a work for everybody. Your son's a knucklehead. All right. Or as the Bible call him, a son of Belial, just no good. We can talk. This is dinner talk here. I mean, you can do all the conjure you want in the world, but the question is, are you gonna put his ass out? That's the first question. Are you gonna put his ass out? Because really, you're doing all this conjure because you really don't know what you want to do. That's number one. So once you figure out what you're going to do, whether you're going to put them out or keep them, all right, then you can begin to develop a strategy behind that. You are the adult. You are the parent. You are the wife, the cousin, the sister, the brother, the whomever, the friend. All right. Be an adult. If that means having a hard conversation, have the hard conversation. If that means make a resolve and a decision, make the decision with resolve. Because sometimes folks just need to be hit upside the head with life, not with your candle, but with life. All right. Do all the quarterito amounts that you want. So you need to have life humble them. They grow real fast. Now, I'm not an advocate for very heavy-handed work in the house. Just not. If you've got children, this is what I want to get to. Let me just speak plain with you. This is where all this comes from. I've had people come to me and they've been blessed with a child that has special needs. And instead of being an adult and being a mature parent, they want to try to use esoteric technologies to avoid being a mature parent. All right. I'm not going to advocate you dominate your daughter because she has Down syndrome. That's not my kind of thing. It's not my kind of thing. I would not advise you in that regard. Somebody else might. I wouldn't do that. All right. Can work be done? Yes. But maybe the work should be focused on you as the parent, not on the child. Maybe you need clarity. Maybe you need King Solomon's wisdom. Okay. Maybe you need your roads open so you can have the resources, whether it's the psychologist, the psychiatrist, the doctors, the physicians, that can be a part of your network, your team, to be the best parent that you can be to the child God's blessed you with. Never forget, some years ago, I had a client. She came on a recommendation from her mother. Her mother was my client from 7 Rays. And and she came, and the mother could tell me about her granddaughter. And then the daughter came and she told me about her daughter, same child, but the daughter never came. And so I said, well, yeah, I would do a consultation on all of that, not a problem. So finally they and what they were trying to say was that the daughter was, or the granddaughter was, the victim of witchcraft. And so I said, well, bring her to me. Y'all all show up and we'll get to the bottom of this. All right. There's no witchcraft in sight. But that was a convenient answer. All right. That was a convenient answer. Was, this is a product of witchcraft. No, it's not. The disciples asked Jesus, why was this child? Was it sin? Was it hidden transgression? He said, no, but that the power of God might be made manifest. So, the grandmother took the daughter out, and at the time to speak with the mother, and she, and I get it. I get where she was coming from. You know, she wanted more time to live life, and before motherhood hit and all the kinds of things. But she hadn't yet gotten over that. She hadn't yet gotten over that you have a child now, so you have to live differently. All right. You can't avoid your responsibilities. You have to adult now. Right now, the work that we can do is to bring you the appropriate resources, assets, gifts, abilities, skills, resources, people, uh, um, money that you're going to need to support you in being the best parent that you can be for your daughter. Right. And she really didn't want to hear that. She really didn't want to hear that. And I'm sure she probably went to somebody who told her whatever and probably milked them dry with $1,000 of, oh, it's more witchcraft, it's more witchcraft, it's more witchcraft. There's no witchcraft on that child. That child's perfectly fine. She's perfectly fine. But what about keeping your head cool? What about feeding your head? What about your ability to focus, to think, to strategize? You have a child that thinks in a very unique way. All right. You've got an untapped genius on your hand that God's gifted you with. All right. You're going to be going up against the school board and the school system. You're going to be going up against society. Maybe you're going to be going up against ignorant family members and the bullying. You're going to encounter these things. All right. So that would be a better use of your ability to conjure. Okay. And what better opportunity to pass that tradition down to your child. All right. um one 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 error I think that's made in parenting, and it's a fundamental flaw, is that when we parent, we go at it raising children, okay, and not raising adults. Right. So if you go at it raising from the mindset of raising children, you're going to produce a certain type of human being. All right. And in some level, their growth, their maturity is going to be stunted, because subconsciously you've infantized them. Now I'm getting a little bit off here, but I'm gonna come back to my questions in a minute. Because they're only going to be children once. So it's futile to try to raise children. Raise an adult. They'll be adults for the end of their life, for the rest of their life. Right. And so um that's part of it. We now live in a generation where we can look back and say, you know what, that was life, yes, that was family, yes, that was mama and daddy, yes, that was the time, yes, and it was still toxic, right? It was still wrong. Me and my mother had a conversation last year. My mother's an Aquarius, and I'm Aquarius, so they're kind of passive aggressive too. And so to really get uh deep uh conversation out of her is like getting blood out of a rock. She'll deflect and she'll bring something else up, or she'll just flat out say, I don't want to talk about it anymore, that kind of thing. But um we were talking, and she said something, and this is we as sons and daughters, as offspring, and we also as progenitors, as mothers and fathers, learn forgiveness, right? And one of the first things that helped me with that, it was the Holy Spirit. It was the Holy Spirit. First person to learn to forgive was my dad. Usually, not saying my dad was a bad father at all, but there are just certain internal things that happen, right? And years and years and years ago, while I was still in high school, I remember I was in the computer class, and because you have to, in order to forgive, you have to have revelation. You can't forgive on a whim. You have to do it on revelation. You would just say I forgive them, but really you haven't. You really haven't. And I wasn't asking for revelation on this. I wasn't pondering this. Literally in computer class. And the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, they did the best they knew how to do. If they knew better, they would have done better. And that may be cliche, but in that moment, because it came under revelation, it just broke the floodgates open. And that moment right there, I forgave my father. Just of everything. Whatever was hidden, whatever was dormant, whatever was covered up, whatever. The Holy Spirit knew what he was doing. And that's why I knew it happened, because I remember the exact moment it happened. That's how powerful it was. It came by revelation, just bam, just like that. It happened. And then it happened last year with my mother. And Spirit of revelation came again and said to me, the primary objective of a parent, the instinct of a parent is to protect their child, is to keep their child safe. And so everything my parents did, I'm sure everything your parents did as well, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, regrettable, unless they were just egregious. I'm talking about as parents. I'm talking about it's just, Let me back up. For my parents, let me speak for me. Speak for anybody else. Let me speak for me. Let me not be presumptuous. I had a revelation about my parents. That what they did was, one, because they did the best they could based upon what they knew. And if they knew better, they would have done better. And two, everything they did was to keep me safe from their viewpoint. Now, I brought up about my mom. So me and her were talking last year, because my family is blessed that I can look, and there are at least 3 generations living. My grandma on my mother's side, my grandmother, my mom, of course, and me. And so never really knew a whole lot about my mom and life for her and what that was like before me, right? And so we kind of cover some of that. I kind of, over the years, you kind of pick up certain stuff. You kind of piece together, your parents' life before you, from conversation, from pictures, from, family reunions and jokes, glances across the room at the dinner table, that kind of stuff. You kind of piece together, what they're like and who they were. But she mentioned to me something, and she said in passing, and when I asked her what she said, she didn't repeat it again. She forgot what she said, but I knew it was something subconscious there. But she said that when she was coming up, her mother, my grandmother, told her, because she has a lot of sisters, told her and her sisters, my grandmother's daughters, my aunts, don't go smelling your man. So my grandmother told my mother, and and uh, and um, and my aunts. And when she said that, so I looked back over my family to my aunts and my mom. I said, that's interesting. But that was that era. That was that time. That was a mother keeping her daughter safe in a time where you could be beaten, brutalized, put out, any number of things. Do anything you can to keep the peace or hold the peace in the house. If you cheating, don't say nothing. If you know he ain't doing right, don't say nothing. Spend all the money, don't say anything. You do right. You do the best you can. Don't go. That's what the whole saying was. Don't go smell your man. In other words, don't tell him if he stink. It was a way to protect. Was it right? Of course not. But the toxic, hell yeah. And I see that in my family. That's mostly no longer the consensus now. Okay. Now his mother telling that doors, if that redacted ain't doing right, leave his redacted ass. You see. When dealing with uh children, I do not recommend dominating. I don't recommend any type of aggressive uh work. All right. But let's say maybe they are special needs. And maybe they're prone to fits. Okay. Yes, you can do work to kind of cool that. All right. Calm that. Peace lily, tranquilo, uh, sage, mint, balsam, balm of Gilead, heart ease, Corderito Manso. I'd recommend a Corderito Manso, sure. Okay. Because it is a lot less, it's a lot less aggressive. All right. It is more to docilize and tranquilize and outright dominate an individual. Okay. Um, yeah. So that was a little bit of table talk for you. Uh, what was the next question here? Um, yeah, so that's what I would say about that. Um, family dynamics are unique in that regard. At least I should say my approach to them is in order to be, in order to to be congruent with hoodoo as a traditional practice and it being founded on the power of the home and the house and maintaining that, managing that, prospering that, securing that, all those kinds of things. You could use peaceful home. All right. peaceful home, candles and oils and things like that. Yeah. Yes, that's what I would do in that regard. Um, work on their head to elevate it, not to dominate it. Okay. White candle, glass of water, coconut, um, Corderito Manso. I really like that for these kind of situations. This is a perfect example of when to use tame lamb workings. When you're not trying to be, people are like, oh well, and that's why I bring up in going back to one of my classes. I think it was I think it's Herbs and Plants 101, I think it's the class. Uh, and I talk about mastery as a technology, but the different types, right? Different levels, all right? Of course, on one end you have the more, dominate, commanding, compelling in that angle. And then you may have influencing, right? Um, which is a lot calmer. All right. It's a lot calmer. All right. Now let me say this. Some conditions are caused by witchcraft. Yes. I've seen it more than enough times. Uh some conditions are caused by evil spirits. Yes. Some conditions are not. Okay. And that's why you have to use wisdom and not be I don't want to say a fanatic, but not be overzealous, right? And yeah, so that's what I would say to that. Shameless plug here. If you are not familiar with my Advanced Conjure series, you can find it online at cosmic.com/resources. We've put some, I think, 2 or 3 new courses up there. Progress 2020 is up there for your road opening, block busting uh, courses. We've got Passion 2020 up there for your love and romance and marriage and sex magic and all that kind of stuff is included in that. We'll be updating that also. That'll be a frequently updated webinar going forward. Just need it as I find time. I'm going to add some more stuff to that. So, and then Wash 2019 is also up and updated as well. So it's what I'm talking about is Corderito Mansa. It's not a herb per se. It is a formula. It's a compound. It's a recipe. But it's also a type of work. Okay. Um, Corderito Manso, Cordero Manso, just Spanish. It simply means tame lamb or little lamb. All right. And what that does is it um tames the person, right? Brings them from a state of aggression, hostility, volatility, and kind of brings them back to center, right? Kind of quells that, it cools them, right? Another way of looking at it is to tranquilize. Okay. Now, certainly you can beat somebody over the head and dominate them that way. Sure, we can also tranquilize them, right? Bring them into like a docilized state. Okay. There is a plant known in the common name is tranquilo. Okay. What the scientific name is for it, I cannot call top of my head. I have found it's become very, very rare lately. I don't know what happened, but it's been very, very hard to find. But you will find a lot of products named after it: Tranquilo oil and Tranquilo candle and Tranquilo whatever. But there actually is a plant called Tranquilo. And you might be able to find Palo Tranquilo, which is the branch of that plant, or the actual herb. A substitution for that would be the peace lily, PEAC, the peace lily. That you can often find, if not in your botanicas, in your botanical gardens, if you have local nurseries around you. But then it depends on where you live. Like you're in the South, maybe you can find it. What I would also add there is a mansa guapo. All right, a mansa guapo. All right. Actually, I don't have it. I mean, it's over there somewhere. Well, there goes. Okay, we'll do it like that. Is this? Oh, speak up. Okay, there you go. All right, so like for example, this is the stick Amansa Guapo, all right, which literally means to tame the bully. Tame the bully. All right. This is a Amansa Guapo. That's the stick. We powder that down some. We may tie a work to that. Here you have the literal Cordero Mountain. So this is just powdered down. This is actually a powdered lamb, as a matter of fact. You follow me on Instagram, you know the whole story behind this. It's got lamb teeth in here, a lamb's ear in here, lamb's hair, lamb's skin, and a whole sheep jawbone is in that. And of course, we took this as our base and compounded another formula that we've called Cordero Manso. It's sold out now. It was a limited run. So don't ask me for it. I don't got them. That's all I got, basically. And for personal use. We combined this with other compounds, other plants like Amansa Guapo, for example, to create the Cordero Manso product, that powder. And then you have, so what was left of the lamb, I'll let you go in a minute because I'm feeling drained here. What was left of the lamb that I could not powder down, because it's skin and sinew and muscle tendons and stuff. It's very fibrous, and so you can't always powder all those fibers down. What we did make was an oil from that. Now, if you are a curator in my master class, y'all be getting a sample of that this month. But he just soaked it in oil, really. This is what it came out to be. Was the oil version, but it's all the same formula, all the same recipe. Yeah, so that's what I would say, Jane, there. that is helpful. Also, um, um, balm of Gilead, balm of Gilead, for peace, for tranquility, for the balm of Gilead, even from the biblical narrative, is known to heal, to cure, to soothe, to assuage. Um, we use that, for example, in reconciliation work, right, to soothe those tensions, to bring them back together. So I would look into that. Um, Mr. Conjure, what do you do when you have a husband that won't listen? Uh, when you're trying to tell him how you feel, I'm going to a lot, trying to just let everything get across. Well, Kobayashi Kimana. I just heard something so clear for you. What I heard was write a letter to your subconscious mind. Okay. Write a letter to your subconscious mind. And in there, you can add a Monteguapo tame lamb. You can also add some deer's tongue herb. Um, you can add a little bit of um, calamus. Okay. And address it to him, to your subconscious mind, and slip it under his side of the bed, maybe in between the mattress. Okay. Um, you can also take that letter with a goblet and a white candle, glass in case preferably, if you can, and set the glass of water up first. Place the letter under it or in front of it, and the white candle in front of that. All right, and mhm. Speak directly to him. Okay. What you can do, you can offer that to his orrery or to his higher self, his consciousness. Okay. Um, you can take that water and wash his clothes with it. All right. You can take that letter, and if he's got if he wears bandanas, or if he wears head scarves, or do rags or hats or whatever, you can pair those two together. Okay. Um, you can take that water and use it when you cook his food, maybe to when you brew his coffee. Okay. So there's a number of things you can do there. All right. If you feed someone some of your personal effects, like foot shavings, is there a reversal? There is. It is called a recant. I'm looking for. I don't have an eye shot here. It is called a recantation. I actually have a whole video on my channel. Go back and just search Recantation, recantation. All right. Revocations and recantations are a little bit different. You go, oh, that's a revocation. No, it's not. All right. Revocations are done when you are the target of someone else's work. All right. A recantation is when you want to break your own work you put up on somebody else. All right. I have a whole video on that technology and the technique to do that. So just go back on the channel. I'm not going to go over it again here. All right. I think I am out. I am out. But it was good doing a Hoodoo help desk with you guys again. Really, really fun. I hope that those of you who asked questions were edified. Those of you who didn't ask questions, I hope you were also edified by the answers there. You can find me at cosmic.com. Our advanced conjure series is cosmic.com/resources, or just click the resource tab or resource link up there. Of course, our masterclass is open. All right. So you can definitely find me on Patreon, patreon.com/cosmic. Everybody's going the Patreon route nowadays. I'm not saying nothing. I've seen a lot of things. My students have their ears and eyes everywhere. They said, Doc, this look eerily familiar. They sent me somebody's screenshot. That looks eerily familiar. Some screenshot. I just say, God bless them. I know what I've been called to do, and I do what I'm called to do. But masterclass is popping. If you haven't heard, let me tell you, some good stuff in there. If you're looking for where does Doc keep all his rituals? He keeps them in masterclass under lock and key. All right. So beginning to end, full on workings, detailed instructions. We have them recorded. We show them to you. So that's masterclass. Website, masterclass, advanced conjure series. Those who have not been notified about their current apprenticeship status will be notified by the end of the week. And there will be an announcement at the end of the week. We have another webinar coming up next month, in the month of March, on money work. Okay. So definitely prepare for that. The store is currently shut down for restock and inventory. So some of you may be getting refunds back or pending orders, or you've been going in and see, well, I can't, not everything is sold out or whatever. Not. I know. I am replenishing the inventory. Some of them won't be back until about the middle of March, because I'm waiting on a particular type of plant that grows in a certain part of the world only during a certain time of the year and all that jazz. And I paid them an arm and a leg to have them cultivated for me. So we'll be able to get that on the market before April for sure. There's something else that I'm missing. Classes, masterclass, apprenticeship, coming webinar, restocking. If you order something from me, just bear with me. You aren't the only person. I'm getting things as out as I'm able to. Oh, yeah. So those of you who were in the community work, of course, it is on and popping. I will I'll send you guys an email update, as a matter of fact. I'll send you guys an email update and show you the video and all that kind of good stuff. I'm gonna ask about that. I just kind of been a little bit behind getting you guys that information, but it's been done. If I send me this thing, I'm going to do it. That's what I would say there. So in the meantime, in between time, I hold you all in the light of God that never fails. God bless you all forever.